I've had people that come in, and when we do it on a standard test, it's normal, and that they have every symptom of high cortisol. So then we check this test. They spike so high when they wake up in the morning, but by the time we check them at 8:30, it's already down. But they have problems the rest of the day because of that huge spike in the morning.
Thank you for joining us here at Doctor's Nutrition. We got something that's a really hot topic today, Janine. That's cortisol.
Right. Yeah. I mean, everybody, that's one thing that just about everybody that comes in, says, I think my cortisol's off. They all think it's high, and it's not always necessarily high, but many, many times it is. And cortisol can cause a lot of problems. It's not just about feeling stressed either. When cortisol is elevated, it causes a lot of other problems. And that's what we're here today to tell you about the problems that we see that can be caused by high cortisol, what you can do to fix it, and what we see in our practice every day.
One of the biggies for cortisol is blood pressure. We see a lot of people that are what we call resistant hypertension. They just, no matter what, their blood pressure doesn't want to come down. And
or you have those real high fluctuations and real high spikes.
Exactly. We see a lot of that. And when you see that, you're looking at typically these people have spikes in their cortisol.
Right.
And it spikes up.
Yeah, because cortisol don't just stay level all day. No. Cortisol is something that when you wake up in the morning, you have what they call a cortical awakening response, where the cortisol spikes within 30 minutes of you wakening. So that is your top level of cortisol for the day. And then what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to trend down and get lower and lower and lower as the day goes on and get real low at night so that you can go to sleep. So cortisol is not a steady thing. It is always changing. Now, we always do spot cortisol because it's very easy to do with your regular lab work. But we always offer our saliva cortisol testing, which does it 6 different times through the day. So you can actually see what your cortical awakening response is. And you can also see how it falls throughout the day. Now, since we do that test, you can see a lot of variations in that test. I've had people that come in, and when we do it on a standard test, it's normal, and that they have every symptom of high cortisol. So it's like, okay, it's got to be something different. So then we check this test, and they spike so high when they wake up in the morning, but by the time we check them at 8:30, it's already down. But they have problems the rest of the day because of that huge spike in the morning. And then you see the people that might be okay in the morning. And then as the day goes on, they start spiking later, which is when they can't sleep. So there's a lot of thing to cortisol. Now, unfortunately, in medicine, there's only 2 diseases they recognize with cortisol problems. That's where you get into a problem. Exactly. You see Addison's, which is adrenal failure, which means no cortisol. And it is a problem, no doubt.
No doubt.
And then you see Cushing's, which is your extreme cortisol. That normally comes from a tumor or something more than just stress. It's normally a more severe health problem.
Much more.
No doubt. Those 2 problems are terrible. But that's what medicine sees as an adrenal problem. They don't see that you can have something in between, where it is not from a tumor, it is not from failure, it is from everyday or chronic stress.
Right. And there's a lot of chronic stress. Now, we have patients that they just openly admit, I'm under a lot of stress. And, it's just been probably the past, 5 or 6 years or so.
We see more and more.
Since COVID, we've seen much more and more people come in that will actually admit, I'm under a lot of stress. I just feel stressed.
But then you get the ones that say, I don't know why mine's up because I don't feel stressed. But they do have the symptoms that go along with it.
Right.
And they're like, I don't understand. I don't have any stress. Why is it doing that? Well, it's the way the body responds to stress.
Right.
It don't even matter how much stress a person has. You can have some people that have extreme stress, but if their body handles it properly, they may not be high.
Right.
But then you have the people that may not have any stress, but the least little bit of anything, even somebody cutting them off in traffic, makes theirs go sky high. So there's so many different variances. That's why checking it is the only way you know for sure.
That's right. Now, one of the biggies with high cortisol is, what does it cause? Okay, it can cause a lot of different problems. And one of the biggies is heart disease.
Yes, not just the hypertension, but it can actually make plaque in the arteries.
Yes, it can.
They've actually shown that it contributes to plaque in the arteries. And I think probably one of the big reasons it does that too is the other thing it can do, increase blood sugar.
Yes.
It is so hard to control your blood sugar if your cortisol is elevated.
And weight gain goes right along
weight
with
gain.
it.
The sugar goes high, you gain weight, you have metabolic syndrome. It definitely contributes to that. And a lot of people have heard in the past that it makes you gain weight in the middle. And that is absolutely true.
That is very true.
It is.
Because it really does increase the appetite. Somebody that's under a lot of stress.
It makes you hungry.
Oh, yeah, very.
Yeah.
Well, it's a steroid. And if you've ever taken,
if you've ever taken a steroid, it makes you hungry.
Yeah, if you've ever taken a steroid, you understand that you go, oh, yeah, that's what that is. And because it does increase it. And it does increase your risk for diabetes. And God knows we got a way more of that than we need around today. And then the other thing is it destroys your immune system. I mean, it can just really kick your immune system
think
to
of
the
all
gutter.
the things that it can do. Heart disease, weight gain, diabetes, weakening the immune system, and, insomnia,
Right.
anxiety, depression, all those things. Now, if you like what we're talking about so far, go ahead and like and subscribe below, and you will get more of these videos and see what else we may have to say.
Exactly.
Now, another big thing that they have linked cortisol with is memory problems. And memory problems, we talk about dementia a lot on some of our other videos. And that's just another thing that contributes. There's more than one thing that contributes, but that is definitely something that does.
It's really kind of interesting, is it that because on a day in, day out basis, we probably get, I'd say 6 out of 10 people that come in are really concerned about their memory.
Yeah.
And when you talk to them, they're really concerned about, they're stressed. They're having a lot of stress, and it's interrupting their sleep. It's causing all kind of problems, and they're worried about their memory. And it will definitely cause memory problems. There's no doubt about it.
And sleep is a huge thing because a lot of people that come in and can't sleep, I always tell them they need to have their cortisol checked because it really makes a difference, especially if you're one of those people that instead of falling late at night, it starts rising. And even those people, if they wake up at 2 to 3 in the morning, cortisol is part of your circadian rhythm. And when it's the same exact time something happens every day, you got to think cortisol and adrenals and your circadian rhythm. And a lot of people's cortisol will start rising at about 2 to 3 in the morning. And you don't know how many times I hear, I am waking up every single night at 2 to 3 in the morning. And when they say that, I know it's a cortisol issue. And so that is something else that you have to look at because sleep is so important in healing. And if you don't sleep, then you're going to start having all kind of other issues too.
No doubt. Now, one biggie that it also causes a real problem with, and that's bone density. And since we have a bone density scanner at our office and we do a lot of bone density testing, we see the results of this. And we see results of this in young people.
Right. Cortisol, yes. Cortisol and bone density, they know, okay, if you take steroids, if you've taken prednisone, if you're taking anything like that, oh yeah, that's going to lower your bone density. Medicine has known that for years.
Oh yeah.
But they don't think about chronically high cortisol. And chronically high cortisol does the same thing. It lowers your bone density. It actually breaks down your muscles. It can even make your production of your hormones lower. Even in men. Not just in women, it can mess up your cycle if you're a woman. It can lower testosterone in a man. So one of the big things I have seen over the years with cortisol is digestive issues.
Oh, yeah.
People that say, oh my gosh, no matter what I eat, I feel sick. And it's cortisone, even if you've ever taken, again, medical steroids, it makes your stomach burn. It burns your stomach. It makes you feel nauseous. So can cortisol. Your own body's production, when it's too high, can do it. And we don't just use the regular ranges to the labs. We will use optimal ranges when we look at cortisol.
Right.
Because you don't want it even right close to high or it can still cause the symptoms. We deal with cortisol, something we have dealt with for so long. The good thing is we lower it, and I can say most people, 98% of the people, we can usually regulate their cortisol. And the things that we use to regulate, our number one go-to is Cortisol Soothe.
Yeah, it's a formula we put together specifically for helping bring down that cortisol or keeping it from spiking.
Yes.
That's the big thing.
And it does contain the ashwagandha, and it does have the magnolia officinalis, it does have theanine, it has all the good stuff that actually helps lower cortisol. So Cortisol Soothe works really good. I mean, it's one of our biggest sellers because so many people do have so much stress.
It really is.
Now, GABA is another one that lowers cortisol and it helps you sleep. So when we see those people that spike at night and they're not sleeping, GABA plays a huge role in that.
And so does phosphatidylserine.
Phosphatidylserine does too. It is great.
You know, a lot of people come in and they've read about phosphatidylserine and they think it might be something they want to try. And sure enough, if they've got high cortisol or spiking cortisol, phosphatidylserine can do great wonders for
it. It is. And people think of phosphatidylserine more for memory. The research for brain health and dementia risk and all that stuff is great for phosphatidylserine. But one of the things that it does is it actually lowers the cortisol. So cortisol could become a huge problem. We have had people that their lives were disrupted because of their cortisol. And it's not, of course, high enough for medicine to say it's a problem. And so they've been told that they just need a psychiatrist. You know, and it does make you feel a little crazy if your cortisol is not normal. So if it is high, it does make you feel a little off. But instead of just fixing the cortisol, it's not going to help to get on an antidepressant. Because I have, believe me, seen so many people over the years, and antidepressants do not lower cortisol.
Oh, no.
Even if the person is calmer, and even if the person's symptoms are better, when we check their cortisol, they're sky high. So the damage to the body is still being done. They're still increasing their sugar. They're still damaging their heart. They're still making muscle breakdown. They're still causing all these problems. They're not fixing the problem. Like I said, it's something we deal with daily. And if you think you have a problem, we can definitely try to help you get it straightened out. And, you know, the more and more people, sometimes I have to do more things. Sometimes the cortisol soothe is enough. Yeah. That cortisol soothe is amazing. People can tell a difference within a few days, actually.
Oh, yeah.
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 So it's actually pretty fast as well.
Our approach is really to kind of get this thing under control, keep it under control best we can, and keep it from spiking. The big thing is that spike. That's the thing. So hopefully you got something good out of this little video today. If you did, again, like she said, be sure and subscribe, like us, and we'll be back for other videos. And we look forward to seeing you on the next video.